God Vecta dead? No problem. Gabriel awakens to the hot Sinon goddess. So what's up guys, Foxen here. SAO Alicization, War of Underworld episode 15. They're going by so fast. This time you got Gabriel and Visago back in the spotlight. Even a Kirito tease. So definitely nuke that like, ring the bell for more SAO videos, juicy one coming up, and let's dive into the Underworld. But first, are you ready to duel? Say hello to ZenonZard, today's awesome sponsor. This is a new unique anime themed card game plus AI based. This means you get to fight right alongside your AI companion, including some waifus. Just take a quick personality interview. I got the idol AI. There's 16 total right now, and don't worry, there's guys too. What'll get you even more hyped is the actual anime for this. Totally free to watch. Any Megumin fans? Rei Takahashi is here. During your matches, your AI buddy will give you tips and strategy support. Using machine learning, the AI will grow with you. They'll even learn to play your style. The gameplay for this is pretty quick paced, only 3 phases: mana movement, flash, and main phase. The unique mana movement system allows you to use your minions as mana to summon your stronger minions. Oh yeah. On top of this, the game actually has some great effects for mobile. To build your deck, you got 500 different cards from 7 categories to mix and match. Feeling frisky? Why not ask your AI to build a deck for you? I trust in the heart of my idol. And you should too. If you're interested, you gotta join right now. During this July event, you could actually get 240 of the 500 cards available, which is freaking awesome. So, do you like card games? Link down below. This is free to play, and you're gonna be awesome by supporting the channel. You could go ahead and use the hashtag ZenonZardIC on Twitter and Facebook to connect with other players. Kicking this off, Goddess Sinon flying. Too bad, late to the Vecta party. If this was a different type of anime, she would have gotten there in time. By the way, notice the Bercouli and Alice shot. You can still see the time-splitting sword, which really confirms it didn't shatter in the anime. So poor Alice crying her heart out. The animators here did a top-notch job with her face, letting it all out. You really had Alice blaming herself. No surprise. It's pretty easy to see in hindsight that if she didn't rush out, perhaps this whole situation could have been avoided. Although I should mention the anime watered down her blame. Originally, Alice had claimed that her life was nowhere near as equal as losing the Great Knight Commander. Naturally, Alice still wanted to help out with the war, especially with the Asuna and friends barely keeping the front line. About that, Vecta is not dead. Really sucks for Sinon to be the harbinger of bad news. She did come over here to save the day, but instead she's delivering horrible update after another. I mean, look at her, she can't even face Alice while explaining. Then for Shinon's mention of Kirito, his suffering. Just because he can't die in the Underworld doesn't mean that your heart takes no pain. Isn't that right, Yuji? Right now, technically, Kirito cannot die. On the flip side, logging out right now would mean Asuna taking care of a potato forever. I also do feel like the anime didn't stress it out enough. Recall the Quinella fight. Quinella knew that killing Kirito wouldn't make a difference, which is why Kirito instead was worried she would torture him till the end of time. At the end of the day, Kirito suffered through all of that to save Alice. Yuji too, and that guy giving up everything he had. Unfortunately, Yuji and young Alice have died, which means Integrity Knight Alice has remained to suffer too, and continues to take on more burden. It must truly be a crushing experience with so much tragedy within the last 48 hours. So many from the human empire falling, you had LG's sacrifice, and the latest, Bercouli sacrificing himself for Alice. To make matters worse, she has to get to the end altar to go to a different world. And Alice doesn't even know she's going to be able to return. Right here, Sinon does tell Alice that she'll be able to. Although of course the anime axed out her thoughts. Sinon herself wasn't really sure. As for Bercouli's body finally dusting away. He was not in the fortunate 50%. Into the sacred winds he goes. I mean, goddamn, his loss is so freaking sad. Cut out here was Alice putting her lips on his forehead before taking off. I should also mention an anime change. In the light novel, Alice actually put Bercouli's remains on one of the dragons. When you switch over to the anime, that's no longer possible. Way later on, they actually mentioned that Bercouli's remains were buried in the garden at Quinella's tower, but Bercouli dusted away. My quick prediction right here is that the anime is now going to use Bercouli's sword as his remains. We can see Alice giving that to Fanatio. Anyway, switching over to a different spot on the Crimson battlefield. Recall Iskan and his people were left behind to fight those endless Red Knights. Everyone's just getting screwed here. Recall Dampa, formerly known as Tristan. The guy didn't even have any arms anymore. Still, the dude was just head smashing those knights. I really doubt their group had a single healer. Even their top warrior was to the breaking point. It really doesn't matter whether you can one-shot these people. Super bloody, bones breaking. Eventually your body just starts to give out from sheer exhaustion. Just know together they were fighting around 20,000 Red Knights. They got that down to like 3,000 left. At the very least, our MVP was still able to freaking move. And what's that? Looks like Sheta caught feelings on the battlefield. In reality, Sheta wasn't really too much of a fan of fighting these Red Knights, despite her loving to cut. To her, they all felt like shadows. Sheta instead loved to cut living things. And did you notice, even her precious dragon was all sliced up. Alright, so getting into it, the Black Lily was no more. Shattered. Previously, Quinella had told her that the sword embodied her supposed curse on her soul. Looks like that now got broken. Sheta finally found something that she didn't want to cut. Someone that she wanted to protect. Aww, love found on the battlefield. It looks like the same went for Iskan too. So wonderful to see, a bond of the human empire and the Dark Territory side. You got a lot of the fun remarks here too. Iskan wanted to raise the strongest fighter this way. Behold your dragon, she will be a powerful knight first. If only there weren't thousands of freaking knights left behind. I kinda wish they held this last minute shot a little longer, so sad. Switching back to Asuna and friends, things were definitely looking better on this side. Fun little bit here seeing Asuna getting healed up. As for the mention of Kirito here, yeah Klein, go over and see Kirito. Just give the guy a bro hug or a big wet one. I mean, just think about it, the threat from you, that may be enough to get Kirito jumping out of that chair, whatever it takes. Anyway, Vasago spotted. I like how the dude's just been sitting back enjoying the show. Sounds very much like him. Anyway, finally getting to the grand reveal. Vasago is the former Laughing Coffin leader from back in SAO, known as Po. Thankfully, they included this flashback. Vasago really only had brief appearances. Keep in mind in SAO Progressive, he did appear fairly early on into the death game. And funny how Klein went from a badass the previous episode to just pissing himself on sight. Get it together, dude. As for the cutout SAO detail for Laughing Coffin, recall the previous battle they had to take out the whole guild. Vasago was strangely absent during their raid on their hideout. Getting into it, reinforcements, this is round 2 or 3? Over 30,000 more Red Knights, this time from China and South Korea. I knew this was coming, but how would SAO handle this? More specifically, how would SAO potentially avoid getting banned over there? Still to be determined. So just like how Critter had done for the US, recall that terrible English, he did the same for South Korea and China. Keep in mind this was actually Vasago's idea to use those 2 locations. Then for Moonphase, also known as that redhead from the trailer, sorry, it's not Rain. Looks like they're actually giving time to flesh out the South Korean and Chinese players, at least these 2, giving their side some sort of phase. You won't be surprised at all that certain remarks from Critter were cut out. So really quickly, Critter was thinking, weren't Japanese and Korean players practically the same? Of course, Critter wasn't just some ignorant American. He simply assumed that Japan, South Korea, and China were on good terms. You know, like something like the EU. But after all of them logged in, he realized that players from these 3 countries perhaps didn't get along too well. Anyway, getting back to Sinon, Gabriel erupting from the depths of hell. How appropriate, rising from that oozing black void. The dude just came out packing with that sword on his ass. Not to mention that demon bat creature. Who needs wings? But what was up with Gabriel and those interesting hand placements? Trying to comp a feel or something? In case you were wondering why Sinon just didn't nuke him right away, it actually wasn't just her shocked at seeing it was Gabriel. Cut out from the anime, Sinon actually did originally charge up her annihilation ray. Her concern was about whether or not he could keep on generating these high-level accounts. If Gabriel seemed cautious, she would just blow him up, destroying that one-time account. On the other hand, if the guy could keep on respawning with the same account, it would be much wiser to draw out the battle to give Alice more time. As for the name Subtilizer, you should recognize this. Sinon got killed by this mofo in the previous BOB. I should also mention his name did get mentioned in the GG arc in the SAO light novel, but I think the anime cut out that foreshadowing. Then for Gabriel sucking Sinon, it was really Gabriel trying to suck out Shinon's mind. So I was like, what the hell? This actually did happen in the light novel, but the anime cut out this entire exchange between the 2 before this happened. Will some of that come back next episode? I mean, come on. Gabriel hasn't been the most interesting character in the world, but they keep on watering him down even more for the anime. Let me get back to this. Switching over to the Ocean Turtle, 9 AM, July 7th. Hey, July here too. So you got the grim adventures of Higa and Yanai going down the big, long shaft. I mean, screw that, I definitely wouldn't do well with heights. Small cut for Higa here. He was giving thanks to the gods that he didn't have claustrophobia, the fear of heights, or any fear of the dark. The guy has bones of steel. He only wished that he let his buddy over here go down first. Then for Yanai, I know some of you guys thought he looked fishy last episode, and this episode definitely cemented that. So why are you touching your stomach like that? Anyway, another small cut for Higa. In the SAO light novel, Rinko had asked Yana to take care of her little friend or little kid in the anime. Higa was frustrated over this. Did she just see him as a little friend? Way to get freaking friendzoned on your Mission Impossible. Which, by the way, they did explicitly mention Mission Impossible in the books. Getting back to the Dark Territory side. Finally giving a literal face to the Red Knights. At the very least, you had some people being suspicious of Vasago. It looks like Vasago really took Gabriel's speech advice. I mean, the guy was so quick to make up that pure BS on the spot. Oh, the Japanese hacked this server. My ass, dude. At the very least, it does help that the anime showed that big ass leader UI hovering above. So a little extra info about this. Apparently Vasago was speaking Korean to them. He specifically was using words like invasion to trigger them. In the anime, they even cut out the knight screaming, "Protect our country." Anyway, for Asuna here, coughing up blood. What the hell? I can't be the only one that felt this almost seemed random. If you felt it was weird too, no surprise, it was really just them due to cutting what led up to this. Before this moment, Asuna had actually used her goddess Stasia powers. This time, she targeted the statues that the knights were standing on. Asuna could control the statues for around 30 seconds. She took advantage of that to kill some of the red knights with them. After that, Asuna tried to use her powers a second time. She wanted to create this wall around them for protection, but then that should have led into this moment. The pain was too much, blood and all. So I really like how the scene was portrayed with the blood and all. But what the hell is the anime doing cutting out so much, especially from Asuna? The whole thing felt weird, or it just makes Asuna look bad. What the frick? As for better stuff, last time I mentioned Peanut getting newly added for the anime. I did like how Silica was using her to heal up the troops. Oh, and did you spot Eiji? That's definitely him with the jumps. Although it does look like he's flying solo. Perhaps no Yuna in the Underworld. And pretty awesome, they're finally showing the archers from GGO. Recall these two fellas. Then for Vasago laughing, gotta love that Demented villain crackle. Honestly, for me, he's much more interesting compared to Gabriel. Definitely check out SAO Progressive. Anyway, back to the Bond mission. Yanai not looking so smooth in the back. By the way, finally the goddess is connected to Potato Kirito. Time to unfry this potato. But did someone say cliffhanger? The bastard spy makes his move. For a second, I was actually almost expecting him to end with a gunshot sound. That would have been nice. So, how much did you love this episode? Which was your favorite part? What do you think was the worst cut? For me, of course, I'm getting frustrated with more Asuna cuts. Overall, it does feel like this episode was giving you some room to breathe after the last two jam-packed episodes. You even got the Kirito tease. Maybe next episode. Alright, so getting into the one major cut. It really was the exchange between Goddess Sinon and the respawn Gabriel. Keep in mind, I am hoping some of this comes back next episode. Sinon and Gabriel actually verbally acknowledged them facing off in GGO. Gabriel even specifically recalled her name. Towards him, Sinon felt so much fear. It almost felt like she was about to drop her bow. Sinon then finally asked why he was here. To this, Gabriel just started his fate talk, that it was all fate they would meet again. It was the power of the soul that brought them together. Gabriel claimed that he wanted her, so they were destined to come in contact again. Gabriel also wanted to test out whether he could suck out souls or floodlights of people connected to the soul translator. He would finally be able to taste Sinon. It was just a shame he couldn't do it back in GGO. He even dropped his trademark line, "Your soul will be so sweet." Gabriel also asked her the meaning of the name Subtilizer. He explained that it meant one who sharpens, one who renders, one who chooses, and one who steals. Gabriel will now steal Sinon and her soul. So can you see where I'm getting at? So much cut from Gabriel, he's definitely been watered down. By the way, really quickly, definitely give ZenonZard a try, it is free to play. On top of this, you are helping to support videos like this. Keep in mind, I do wake up at like 2 or 3 AM to start working on these. Go ahead and try it out, and no worries if you don't want to continue. But anyway, bonus question for hardcore fans. Which scene are you most looking forward to? Go ahead and watch my latest Attack on Titan video going into the sequel. It is non-spoiler. Be sure to subscribe, there is a juicy SAO video coming, and I'll see you guys later.